Surah As-Saff. Learning objectives. Today we are going to interpret Surah As-Saff. The subject of our lesson today is honest word and honest deeds. Are you ready to learn? Let's begin. In the beginning, Surah As-Saff is the Medinan surah that discusses multiple subjects like the importance of glorifying Allah Almighty and the importance of honesty in the words and deeds, the attitude of the children of Israel towards the message of Moses and Isa, peace be upon them, and the superiority of the religion of Islam, the reward of striving in the cause of Allah, and the call to support the religion of Allah. The verses 1 to 4 of Surah As-Saff explain the subject of honest words and honest deeds. Verse number 1 discusses the subject of glorifying and exalting Allah the Almighty. Verse 2 and 3 discuss the danger of contradictions between the words and the deeds of a believer. Verse number 4 discusses the unity of ranks when striving in the cause of Allah. The first holy verse discusses the subject of glorifying and exalting Allah the Almighty. Everything in the heavens and the earth honors Allah the Almighty and exalts Him above all flaws and imperfections. Allah is Almighty and all-strong in His kingship. He is all-wise in all His words and actions, and He is the one and only who is worthy of worship and obedience. The term glorifies Allah means honors and extols Allah the Almighty. The Almighty means all-strong who is never defeated. Muslims should maintain remembrance and glorification of Allah Almighty and adherence to the obedience of Allah by avoiding what He prohibited. Those two holy verses discuss the subject of contradictions between the words and the deeds of the believer and why that is such a bad thing. The believer should be honest in words and deeds so their acts should align with what they say. Dishonesty in words and deeds is considered by Allah to be one of the most despicable things to do. A person whose actions contradict their words is called a hypocrite. Hypocrites spend eternity in hellfire. The phrase how despicable means what a great disciple. Disciple is intense, dislike. Thus, my dear friends, we conclude that the believer should show their honesty through their words and actions and avoid the characteristics of the hypocrites that Allah Almighty dislikes. Now let's answer this question. Why is the call of Allah in the holy verse, O believers? Well done. The speech begins with this specific call because the following message describes commands for believers only. Honesty in words and actions is so important that Allah Almighty conflated it with being a believer. This holy verse, my dear friends, discusses the unity of ranks when striving in the cause of Allah. If an enemy attacked one of the Muslim countries, then all Muslims should strive in the cause of Allah to defend their homeland and holy sites, to support their religion, and to protect the people and the country. Allah Almighty loves when Muslims fight side by side, unified as if they are a solid concrete structure. Think about this question, my dear friends. Why did Islam seek the unity of ranks when striving in the cause of Allah and state that it should be as organized as one concrete structure? Well done, my champs. This is correct. Islam stressed the importance of unity when striving for the sake of Allah because that fills the hearts of enemies with terror. The hearts of the Muslims, on the other hand, are filled with strength and solidarity. Now look at this image and think of its relation to what you have learned in verse 4 in Surah As-Saff. Well done, my champs. That's a correct conclusion. The image indicates how organized the Muslims in prayers are, with no gaps between them. Muslims pray to Allah, the one and only, facing one Qibla and performing the same movements. They all seek the same goal, which is to please Allah Almighty. Now, my dear friends, we have reached the end of the first part of Surah As-Saff, and we have learned together that the Muslim should be committed to the act of glorifying Allah Almighty because Allah the Almighty is the only one worth being worshipped. The Muslim should maintain remembrance of Allah Almighty. Muslims' actions should align with their speech, and they should avoid the hateful characteristics of the hypocrites. Muslims should strive in the cause of Allah the Almighty to defend their religion, their homeland, and their reputation. Muslims' ranks, when striving and fighting the cause of Allah, should be organized and unified to fill the hearts of Muslims with strength and solidarity, and to fill the hearts of enemies with terror. See you soon in a new lesson.